The U.S. Capitol under high alert.
ERCOT CEOs firing after effects of winter storms.
And the Pope's historical visit to Iraq.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Blake Weiland.
And I'm Hannah Gonzalez. The Capitol could be attacked again. Federal law enforcement are on high alert amidst rumors that a group of violent militia extremists are discussed plans to take control of the Capitol and remove Democratic lawmakers on around March 4th. Security at the Capitol has been enhanced and the House changed its schedule, moving a vote planned for Thursday to Wednesday night in order to avoid being in session on March 4th. This increase in security is a precaution in order to not have a repeat of what happened on January 6th when the Capitol was first attacked and our democracy was threatened. Despite the potential threats, the House has passed a H.R. 1, a government ethics and election bill. Democratic leaders are describing the bill as an anti-corruption legislation that would aid in expanding voting access and improve both accountability and transparency for government officials. Republicans, on the other hand, argue that the bill is a power play by the Democrats in order to gain advantage in the elections. The legislation passed the House but failed to advance in the Republican-controlled Senate, which could mean a potential roadblock for the bill.
Another fight is about to go down in the Senate over the highly anticipated COVID-19 relief bill, which will bring another round of stimulus checks to millions of Americans.
And Senate Democrats are down to the wire.
We've come a long way, but we have a long way to go.
Scrambling to put their final touches on the COVID-19 relief bill, including a compromise between the White House and moderate Democrats to narrow eligibility for the next round of stimulus checks to make it mirror House levels, capping out checks for individuals making more than $80,000 and joint filers making twice that. 2 rail and bridge projects will be stripped from the bill, and the minimum wage bump has been taken out too. Once the bill does get to the Senate floor, one senator says he'll demand it be read out loud in its entirety, an unusual move that will take about 10 hours. Then there will be up to 20 hours of debate, followed by a vote-a-rama, which is essentially an opportunity for Republicans to offer amendments to the bill.
I expect a hearty debate and some late nights.
He's right, not a single Republican is expected to vote for the bill, and they're gearing up for a messy fight.
Vast catalog of liberal spending with basically no relationship whatsoever to beating COVID-19.
This whole bill, in my opinion, gets an F grade because it fails to do what it's supposed to do.
I'm not going to get pumped into voting for a bill that helps Pelosi bail out California.
As the president makes a final push,
Staying unified,
knowing every Democrat needs to be on board to get this bill over the finish line. I'm Britt Conway, reporting.
Hannah, do you think it'll rain tomorrow?
You know, I'm not sure, but I know someone who does. Jessica, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Hannah. So it might not, but let me get to that in just a second. Let's take a look at our current conditions. We are sitting at a beautiful 64 degrees in Denton, Texas. It feels like 64 just as the temperature. Wind speeds are heading south at 15 miles per hour. And let's take a look at our tonight's conditions. So it's going to be 50 degrees and it's going to feel like 55. This is still chilly for us Texans, so do prepare for that. Bring a jacket with you if you're going to be out all day. And wind speeds can be as high as 20 miles per hour and it's heading south. There's going to be some clouds rolling in. Let's see if there's going to be any clouds tomorrow. So tomorrow's forecast, we're going to have a high of 65. It's going to feel like 62. Wind speeds will be the same as today with 15 to 20 mile per hour winds. And there is going to be some drizzle and in the morning, early morning at 1 to 3 a.m. and past 7 a.m. But that's it for our current conditions. Tune in later for our full weather report. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Jessica. Today, a grand jury is taking a look at a case against former President Donald Trump, brought on by a Georgia prosecutor. The case details District Attorney Fani Willis's investigation into Trump's effort to overturn Georgia's 2020 election results. Grand juries will convene in Fulton County, hearing the district attorney's reasons for seeking the subpoenas she warned were coming. Her key piece of evidence for the case is the infamous call between Trump and Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Trump's team says there was nothing improper Trump's team says there is nothing improper about his call to Georgia's Secretary of State.
An earthquake hit New Zealand this morning. The 0.9 magnitude earthquake hit near the country's North Island, just over 200 kilometers east of Gisborne. According to the United States Geological Survey, a tsunami's threat has been issued by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. There have been reports of no reports of injuries or damages yet. For the first time ever, the Pope is going to be traveling to Iraq. This will also be the first time in 15 months Pope Francis will be visiting a country since the start of COVID-19 concerns. Blast Wallace around Our Lady of Salvation Church in Baghdad murals of Pope Francis to welcome him to the historic visit. Pope Francis will be specifically visiting a church where back in December 13, 2010, terrorists from the Islamic State in Iraq killed 58 people inside.
When we come back, we'll go a bit more about ERCOT CEO's firing.
And we'll show you how the nation is responding to Governor Abbott's plan to reopen Texas. Stay with us. The head of ERCOT, the organization overseeing the power grid in Texas, has been fired. This comes after widespread power outages during a series of winter storms 2 weeks ago. Bill Magnus, president and CEO of ERCOT, was terminated from his contract by its board of directors. It came after an emergency meeting Wednesday night. ERCOT says Magnus will be given 60 days termination notice and will continue to serve during that time. ERCOT expects to start an immediate search for a replacement. 5 board members had previously resigned over the storms. The next report board meeting is set for April 13th.
The FBI arrested a Denton police officer yesterday, but we are still in the dark on the cause of his arrest. David Schoolcraft, who has worked for the Denton Police Department for the past 15 years, was placed on administrative leave following his arrest. The FBI have stated that they are waiting to release the charges until Schoolcraft has had his first hearing on Thursday. A mysterious sinkhole appeared near the UNT Union yesterday.
I'm interested to learn more about the situation. Let's turn now to Kevin, who can fill us in. Kevin?
That's right, guys. There's a sinkhole near the UNT campus on Welch Street, and the hole has grown on size overnight, and the cones have been placed to keep students away from the area. The UNT Police Department urges students to avoid this area in order to prevent any injuries. The city of Denton is aware of the situation and has sent its street department to work on the sinkhole. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kevin. The response to Governor Abbott's mask lift has been criticized across the country, including from the president himself. Biden called Abbott's decision a, quote, big mistake and scolded him for Neanderthal thinking that could lead to an increase in coronavirus cases. Many counties in Texas have already said they are not following the governor's order, including Dallas County, where Mayor Eric Johnson says people should continue to mask up and take precautions to slow the spread of COVID-19. According to some medical advisors to Governor Abbott, they were not consulted before he made the official decision to lift the mask mandate. And many disagreed with his actions and says he should have waited until more of the population had been vaccinated.
Moving on to COVID-19 mandates in Denton. Starting March 10th, the Denton ordinance is no longer requiring businesses to maintain COVID safety protocols following Governor Greg Abbott's ending of the mask mandate. However, the county's Chamber of Commerce is urging local businesses to continue operating at their own discretion. And since Wednesday, school and child care personnel are eligible to register for COVID-19 vaccines online waitlists. This includes teachers, staff, and bus drivers.
It's been feeling great outside, Hannah. Don't you feel the same?
I do feel the same, Blake, and I can only hope that it'll stay this way. What's in store for us, Jessica?
Thanks, Hannah and Blake. So it's going to stay beautiful like this outside for the weekend, but I'm going to get into that later. Let's take a look at our temperatures across North Texas. So if you're just tuning in, Denton is sitting at 64 degrees, and we do see similar temperatures all across North Texas. 61 degrees in McKinney. If you're heading to Fort Worth, it's 63 degrees, and if you're heading to Dallas, it's 62 degrees. Let's move on to our temperatures across Texas and see if it's similar. So down in Austin, we have 64 degrees, and in Houston, 62. Still seeing those 60-degree temperatures all across the state. But let's move on to our 7-day forecast and see if it's going to be similar. So our high today is 73 and a low of 50. Tomorrow's high is going to be 65 and a low of 44. We're going to see sprinkles and drizzles early in the morning from 1 to 3 a.m. and after 7 a.m. The weekend is going to be beautiful with 60, 70 degree temperatures and lows in the 40s, high 50s. In early next week, it's going to be partly cloudy, and then by the middle of the week, we're going to see maybe a chance of thunderstorms. But that's all I have for you guys today. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Jessica. When we come back, we'll show you something special on our Positively North Texas segment.
And we'll give you an update on the harsh reality facing malls in the U.S. Stick around.
Dad, 1, 2, 3.
Hannah, I need something to do this weekend. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, well, Alyssa Uthwarte actually has a spot you could visit. Alyssa?
Okay. Thank you, Blake and Hannah. Get ready to tap into your inner plant lover persona. Flower Garden 118 is a local boutique that offers a refreshing new take on interior and floral design. Take a look.
A UNT alumna and flower shop owner's small business has been blossoming during this global pandemic. She describes her shop as Southern charm meets modern elegance.
We like to do something different here that not is your usual thing in a flower shop. So we like to incorporate lots of succulents. We sell a ton of succulent dish gardens. We have those offered on our website. When I bought Flower Garden in 2011, my desire was to create something in Denton that would combine multiple elements. The floral, the gifts, the Birkenstocks. We actually sell Birkenstock shoes. So you can come in and we'll help you. You can shop on your own, give it to us, we'll fill it for you and make it beautiful. People come and get plants from us. We don't have just succulents, we have all kinds of plants. And plants are really big right now. A lot of students love to have plants in their home. We deliver all over Denton, of course, and probably within about a 15 to 20 mile radius.
Flower Garden 118 has a variety of plants that are low maintenance and affordable. With midterms coming up and dealing with this COVID pandemic, it can be stressful times. Giving a plant as a gift to a friend or a loved one can really brighten their day. You can contact Cindy Simmons for more information on social media at Flower Garden Denton.
For many, shopping has turned into an online affair. Now with COVID-19, online shopping seems like the safest way to visit your favorite stores. This leaves many wondering, how long will malls stay in business? I spoke with Golden Triangle Mall's marketing director, who has no worries on the future of Denton Shopping Center. Malls across America have taken a hit from the increase of cyber shopping. But now lies the question, will malls survive the post-COVID era? After 17 years, department store Macy's has announced to close its doors at Golden Triangle Mall, located here in Denton, Texas. Carrie Carter, marketing director for Golden Triangle Mall, says Macy's departure will have no impact on the shopping center.
With Macy's closing, we have received some inquiries and a lot of interest in some opportunities that people see with utilizing that space.
While COVID-19 is still among us, this Denton Mall is embracing the changes and has big plans coming soon.
We really have some positive movement going on right now. We added 2 big retailers in 2020. The first one was Conn's, which was over 50,000 square feet, and also our Fitness Connection. So we added like 100,000 square feet of new retail space in 2020 when the pandemic was going on. We also, on the other side of Conn's, we have a deal signed right now. We can't give that information, hopefully in the next couple weeks or months.
Now with Bath & Body opening a new location at Razor Ranch, the Golden Triangle Mall could face the threat of losing their loyal customers. The official opening date for Bath & Body's new location has still not been released, although I'm just glad this Denton attraction is here to stay. Blake, I know you're a big fan of basketball, so I know you must be excited for the Mavericks.
You're absolutely right, I'm a fan of basketball. And speaking of the Mavericks, we have Jalen Jackson to bring us more.
That's right. Not only did the Mavericks win last night, we also have some news about Dak Prescott, and we'll also be checking in on the Mean Green. Stay tuned after the break. The Dallas Mavericks have been on fire lately. Last night, they took the win against the Oklahoma City Thunder at home without the help of Luka Doncic. The win improved their record to 18-16, giving them a 3-game winning streak. This is their last game before the All-Star break, but they will be back at it on Wednesday, March 10th versus the San Antonio Spurs at home. The Dallas Cowboys may be in trouble in the next few days. The deadline to franchise tag players is March 9th, and the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott still have not come to an agreement. Sources say that the Cowboys will make a push to work out a long-term contract, but I say they're cutting it very close. Hopefully, they work it out before they end up without a quarterback. The Mean Green women's basketball team will take on Rice at home tonight. They are currently 9-3 in conference after last week's 1-point victory. On the other hand, men's basketball is also 9-3 in conference. They will be playing UAB tomorrow on March 5th after this game being rescheduled from January 1st and 2nd due to COVID-19. Will the Mean Green pull through? I guess we'll have to stay tuned. That's all from me. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jalen. A young Alabama girl is having to undergo multiple surgeries for a brain condition. However, she has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars by selling lemonade.
We all know the old saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. That's exactly what Liza Scott is doing.
She has 3 cerebral malformations. One is what they call a schizencephaly, so it's a cleft in the right frontal lobe of her brain.
Her mother, Elizabeth Scott, says they had no clue their daughter had this condition until she started having seizures last month.
It lasted about 45 minutes. An ambulance took her to Children's. We were evaluated. We went home, and then we were back there that afternoon.
Scott says their entire world changed in the blink of an eye. Now Liza has to undergo 2 brain surgeries and possibly more in years to come, which could become a financial burden when it comes to medical bills.
I've spent many a night in the middle of the night just on my hands and knees crying and praying and, how am I going to do this? How are we going to do this? I'm a single mom.
To help pay for some of those medical bills, Liza decided to sell lemonade here in her family shop. Do you enjoy sitting here and selling the lemonade?
Sometimes I do.
Over the weekend, several people came by her lemonade stand inside of Savage's Bakery, bringing gifts, prayers, and donations.
So far, we're, I think, a little bit over 300,000. It's hard to know what surgeries are going to cost in excess of what insurance covers.
This Thursday, Liza and her mom will fly to Boston to have the first of 3 surgeries at Children's Hospital. And when asked, what will she do after her surgery?
Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader.
Liza says she's going for a victory dance. In Homewood, Xavier Harris, WVTM 13.
What a heartwarming story. Wouldn't you agree, Hannah?
I do agree, Blake. I would be there to buy her lemonade for sure.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tomorrow here on North Texas Television.